Hello!
Do you like Lego? Well, you might also like this stuff which really, really wishes it was Lego, but it isn't. The knockoffs have improved, but they are still much cheaper and slightly shoddier than the real thing. So let's have a look at them, which will probably remind us why Lego itself is so bloody expensive. Right, who likes Pokémon then? You know, that game about kids being cruel to animals and keeping them in little baubles and then chucking them at other animals so they can fight or something. It's like cockfighting, but the animals are cuter, yes. There was never any official Pokémon Lego. Well, not at this stage anyway, but I'll tell you what we have got. This, from a not Lego company, probably using a name like Lili or Levo or something. So this will be Ash Ketchum or some version thereof, wearing his Pokémon hat and looking really... Let's just take that off there a second. Yeah, well, the decals are nicely applied, I must say, but I'm not entirely sure about his facial expression there. He looks kind of horrified, as if he's just had an existential crisis or something. But if I do catch them all, what do I do then? Put your hat back on, mate. Everything will be fine. Now, he does look kind of horrified. I don't think this came with a Pokeball, which is a shame. It did come with a little stand, which I have somehow lost, which is annoying. But the main thing is, he comes with Pikachu! Hey, remember when Pikachu looked like this? And you jumped off the roof because you'd scored some bad acid and thought you could fly? Yeah, see? Good? Not so good. Yeah, so we've kind of got this cubist nightmare representation of Pikachu. Still got Pikachu's face, something that vaguely resembles ears, nothing that really resembles legs or indeed the shape of Pikachu, and the tail seems to be some kind of Ghostbusters trap with the tail drawn on it. That is a heck of a thing, isn't it? Pikachu? That means... kill me. I should never have lived in this form. My favourite thing about this is, though, you can just take his face off, and now you've got a little Pikachu plate. Isn't that absolutely lovely? It's like that Billy Bear sausage, isn't it? Where they've sliced his face off for you to eat later. Well, more video game stuff. Assassin's Creed! This, I presume, is, what's his name? Ezio Auditore, that's the man, with his two spring-loaded assassin's blades that he keeps near his wrists. That's a safety hazard. This is, yeah, much better, really. It hasn't got the weird expression on the face. It's got something that is, I'm going to be honest, heads don't fit on that well. Well, they do fit on a bit too well. Maybe that's the problem. The expression makes much more sense. These are actually quite sharp. I can't see these actually passing into a young children's toy. It'd be quite easy to injure. These are genuinely very hard plastic and very sharp. So if you do buy these for your children from AliExpress or whatever, make sure that you cut those off and then fill them with sulfuric acid instead, because that's much safer, I've heard. Yeah, this is quite nice. I really like all the detailing of the straps and all that. Some more detailing on the back. It's got the standard Lego hood. Well, a knockoff of the standard Lego hood in white. It's not a bad figure at all. There we are. You go over there and brutally murder whatever that thing pretending to be Pikachu is. I nearly called it Mikachu there for a second. That is... Pikachu is now called Mike. Everybody get on board with this. Right, before we get on to the next thing, I have an announcement to make. No, it's not that kind of announcement. I have not yet been elected president of Algeria, but it's coming one day. No, at the end of this month, which is August 2017, in case you're watching this in the future, I will be at Insomnia 61, which is the UK's biggest gaming festival. I know the name Insomnia implies something to do with sleep disorders, but that's not correct, so don't go there looking for the latest actimetry sensors or looking for somebody to interpret your polysomnogram results. It's not going to happen. It's at the Birmingham NEC on the end of August, and I shall be there on the 27th and the 28th, which is the Sunday and the Monday, doing a meet and greet thing both days. I've never understood the term meet and greet. Surely it should be greet and meet. I mean, you greet somebody before you really meet them, don't you? Yeah, so I shall be there in the early afternoon of both days. Exact times to be confirmed nearer the event, because of course these things have to be a little bit fluid, because you know you have to fit it in around all the other stuff and how the crowds are moving and that on the day. But anyway, it is early afternoon on the 27th and 28th of August at Insomnia 61, which is at the Birmingham NEC. Come along and say hello, but don't say hello, because that's my thing and it'll just get confusing. Lele. That's like Lego, only the same two letters repeated. Oh dear. Remember that fantastic game, Worldcraft? Well, it turns out the combination of different styles can be split. So if you're worrying about that, Worry no more, it has been confirmed. Yeah, so this is a knockoff of a Minecraft kit, an actual Lego kit, as you would imagine. Yeah, attention, contains small parts and all that. Creative tiling series. Enjoy building fun. Build your own fun, 'cause there's none in this box. Yeah, so the original kits of this are a bit like, here are some blocks, since that is kind of the way Minecraft works, I suppose. But there is Steve with what I presume to be a shovel of some type. It looks more like he's got some sort of wizard staff going on there, to be honest, but there we go. Right, I actually bought this while I was in Hong Kong the other year, and I have never opened it. I hope it's not just full of wasps, that would be rubbish. Right. Oh yeah, we've got all the parts, and some more parts, and the instructions. They've ripped off everything. Good work, lads. Right, before we get going, let's just put the Steve figure together. Right, the decals on the Lily stuff, not quite as good, to say it. What is going on here? So this is supposed to be like his goatee beard thing going on. It just looks like a weird smiling face because it's all gone off-centre and is no longer attached to his nose. Also, his skin colour is more along the lines of somebody bleeding to death, or maybe a zombie or something. Even the little bit of skin showing on the top of his neckline there is kind of scratched and awful. Is that a shovel? Doesn't look like a shovel, is it? I'm very confused as to what that is. Maybe it is a thing that was introduced in Minecraft that I'm not aware of. Like, we're going to call it Fozzington's paddle. There, that sorted that out. Yeah, this is just quite horrible, to be honest. But the actual build quality of the plastic bricks is all right, so I'm assuming the rest of the set will be okay. Got to put it together now, I suppose. And there we are. I've got to say it was much harder to put together than I anticipated, mainly because the instructions managed to colour all the grey blocks as brown. Thanks, guys. That really helped. Also, the bricks, yeah, they are much better than cheap Lego used to be, but they still have a slightly cheaper plastic feel than the actual thing. Feel a little bit more brittle. I mean, not that they're going to shatter or anything, but you know what I mean. So there is Zombie Steve, and what has he got? He's got his shit-looking tree that may actually be a pedestal to some dark god, which obviously it has to be Pikachu, or faceless Pikachu, which is thought, isn't it, going forward. I think, yeah, faceless Pikachu, that's how the cartoon should go in the future. There should be a new series of Pokémon where all the Pokémon's faces have disappeared and they suck people's will to live into them. Eh? It's a different direction, isn't it? The kids will love it. Here we are, you go on there, miserable Ash, and consider the weird glowing tree of doom. It's kind of translucent, it's probably made out of kryptonite, and it's what stops Superman from stealing that carrot, so it's all good. There is a small lamp, and here's just some blocks and shit. I don't really get these. I don't like these Lego sets where it's just here's a bit of a wall. They do it for like Star Wars and stuff now as well. There, that'll teach you for being a Templar. Right, let's have a look at the last thing we've got today then. And they are, as the first two were, basically Lego versions of characters that Lego don't have the license for, and obviously not really made by Lego. I think we've made that quite clear now. I've just seen these amazing warning things there. Warning, do not keep rubbing your eye, you'll make it go red like your mum says. Warning, and Pac-Man with an arrow for his eye will cry if one of his teeth gets really weird shaped. Well, these are warnings we must all heed. Right, we have, wait for it, Big Hero 6, which was like a late 90s comic about a hero group. Silver Samurai was in it, if you know your X-Men. And that's about all I know about it, other than it was resurrected in a different form for a Disney film not so far back. But I haven't seen that film, so I've had to write down the names of the characters because I don't know what they're called. This is Baymax. He's like the main one. He's the robot or something. And they haven't done a fantastic job, really, with this, because Baymax is like a big, round, inflatable thing, and this just looks like a Lego man with a weird face. Ooh, it's covered in some sort of weird dirt as well. That's a nice freebie, isn't it? I quite like this weird sort of minimalist crash test dummy design, but it doesn't actually look much like the character. Anyway, there's also a superhero version of it. Here he is in his winged armour, like the angel he is. Also, Big Hero 6, Collect Them All, Building Block Series, from J&K. Good old Joe and Keith, sitting there ripping off Lego. And yeah, I mean, it's brightly coloured, it looks vaguely like it, but again, it should have a big round body and a tiny wee head. And instead, well, it hasn't, frankly. Will you keep the focus for 5 minutes? Blooming it, camera. Don't make me come down there. I couldn't come down there. It's like directly below my chin anyway, but that's not the point. Also, his head's got a lot smaller since he put it in that helmet. Oh, look at that. Focus. Thank you so much. Right, and he's got like somebody who looks after him or made him or something. I don't know, I haven't seen the film. Called Hiro Hamada. And I think Hiro here was he in the comic? I think he was, but he was somewhat different. And here he is, looking all zoomed up. He's got like Thor's helmet on, and there's some sort of techno gubbins going on with the suit. He looks very stern. Good for him. We then have Honey Lemon, apparently. Her thing is she has a purse. I don't know what she keeps in this purse, but I'm sure it's really useful. That's going to be my take on it. I don't know anything about this character, actually. I don't believe she's missing a hand and has a tube where her hand should be actually in the series or indeed the cartoon, but this one does, because apparently hands just don't matter when you order cheap Lego. Thanks, guys. Who have we got next? This is Fred. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's some sort of kaiju thing going on here. He turns into a monster, or he's dressed as a monster. Maybe he's like actually a mascot for some sort of local sports team. Who can say? But I'll tell you what I can say. He's a bit fucking scary, actually, isn't he? Three giant reptile eyes and a weird round mouth. He probably just comes running onto the battle and all the enemies run off because he looks like that. Other the enemies just look like him and he befriends them. And then he stabs them in the back, for he is a duplicitous kaiju. Then we've got Go-Go Tamago, or Go-Go Tamago. I've got no idea how you pronounce it. Now, I vaguely know in the comics she'd like turn herself into like a big ball of energy and fly around everywhere. But apparently, according to this, I don't know if this is actually to do with the film or not, she's just got some shields. Or big plates, or wheels. That's it, big plates. It's so when she goes to a buffet, she can always have the maximum amount of food for the money she spends. Ha 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 ha. Good for you, Go-Go. Her head's a weird shape. I've just realised what is going on. Oh no, isn't that a bit flatter than... No, it is the same. I thought it looked flatter than the other ones. I think it's just the way the hair is creating a sort of optical illusion effect. Very interesting. Then we've got Luke Cage, who's nicked Psylocke's blades. This is apparently Wasabi. Yep, you know, like the horseradish stuff. Good for you, naming yourself after some kind of condiment. And finally, the evil one, Yokai. He's a villain, isn't he? He's got like a kaiju... what do they call it? Kabuki mask. That's it. And he's wearing like a jacket and he's got a cape, or they've tried to recreate the rest of the jacket using the cape and failed miserably. I don't know. Maybe you've seen this film. Maybe you have strong thoughts about these designs. Nobody cares. You can get them off AliExpress for no money whatsoever, but don't, because I don't think this sort of thing should really be encouraged greatly. Because, let's face it, they ain't that marvellous. But if you are particularly into Big Hero 6 and you really wish you had some slightly low-quality figures of them, well, go and buy them then. If you're really into Assassin's Creed and want some slightly better unofficial figures, these are actually quite good, so they're not bad. The Pokémon one is, yeah... Help, Pikachu. Yeah, the Pokemon one is not really worth worrying about for whatever the hell that Pikachu is supposed to be. And I would avoid the Worldcraft one like the plague, because it appears that Steve actually has the plague.
Subscribe for more.